Okay, so this is called sick, stupid, broke, and afraid. Which one are you? And I've always had this theory that if I have, if I'm the kind of person who wants to control someone, I need one of these four. If I have all four, then I've got you, right? I can do what I wish with you and your group. So sick, stupid, broke, and afraid is where you've got the first one of sick. And this is how they control you. And I suspect everybody listening to this is one of these four. You're either sick, stupid, broke, afraid. I'm not sure which one, but there might be one, as rough as that information might be for you to hear. There are a lot of things with diet in terms of sick that are really scammy. One of them is the low fat scam. The sugar industry went wild, making sure that the information got out that things needed to be low fat. And to make anything low fat taste good, you have to add sugar. And there's a book called The Case Against Sugar. There's a book by Gary Taubes who called Why We Get Fat. And it turns out bacon and eggs are better than a bagel in the morning. I know that sounds wild, but that's actually true. Why? Because only carbs can produce insulin, and that insulin production run awry is because of ingestion of carbs, of which sugar is the worst. That article in New York Times Magazine is from like 2002. It's easily 18 years old, maybe more. What if fat doesn't make you fat? Guess what? Fat ingestion doesn't produce insulin. So Robert Atkins is another guy who got crucified in the 70s and the 80s because he had a diet that made people thinner and healthy. And he himself personally was gaining weight very rapidly. And what he'd read as a physician was this idea of restricting carbs as an alternative to going hungry. He had a big appetite, so he did it and it worked. And he was very successful, very famous, and became very wealthy. So they went after him. Who went after him? The USDA and the FDA, along with the sugar industry. And what are you told? Oh, fat's going to give you heart disease. Yeah, okay. Stupid. Think about school. Is this you? I'm not calling any of you stupid. What I am saying is school was created to make you follow directions, teach you how to obey authority. It takes 12 years to beat out of you all of that independent, wonderful intellectual, spiritual knowledge you've got just internal. 12 years. They fill you with fake information. You know how this works? This was 100 years ago. Liberal progressive hero Woodrow Wilson, this is a direct quote talking about the institution of school to governors. We want one class of persons to have a liberal education. In this case, he means free and robust and multifaceted. So we want one class of persons to have a really good education. We want another class of persons, a very much larger class of necessity in every society, to forego the privilege of a liberal education and fit themselves to perform specific difficult manual tasks. So he says, for the regular people like us, you go to school and you learn how to do what you're told. And everybody else at the top, you get the good stuff. And that's what they do now. Kent, Choate, Hotchkiss, St. Andrews, all of these things, you've got great education for the people who rule over us. And you know what the after effect of this fallacy of authority? Because that's what you get. You get 12 years of do as you're told by the person of authority in the room. You get what happened yesterday. That story that sent you guys into fits about Trump tear gassing protesters on his way to the church. Totally fake. Totally fake. I didn't fight with you on this. I wasn't going to convince any of you of anything. Wasn't going to happen. Molly Hemingway had it. She got crucified on Twitter. But you just do as you're told. And so CNN, NBC, and Facebook and the rest, they all told you that that's how it had gone. Stupid. Okay, broke. I've been there. Have you learned any of these things in school? This dovetails perfectly with school. I want you to think about this. Have you learned double entry accounting, compound interest, how to start an S Corp or an LLC or what those things are, how do tax rules change with cash flow? If you make money on stocks or bonds or any other investment, let's say real estate, how do you get taxed? Is that the same percentage of tax as a salary? No, it's not. They're not even close. Have you been shown this? Maybe. I doubt it was in school. It's possible. But if I can keep you broke with some nonsense, boom, I've got you. Stocks, bonds, what's the difference? How does investing work? What about cryptocurrency? BCH is Bitcoin Cash. How is it different than Bitcoin? What about Bitcoin SV? What about Bitcoin Gold? What about Ethereum or Ethereum Classic? I keep hearing about this doggy coin, Dogecoin. What is it? If you don't know, you fall for nonsense like this. Look at these white liberal Democrats jamming their contempt for you in your face, wearing kente cloth like they're from Africa. Those are all millionaires. They're all millionaires. Go look at what a senator or a congressman makes. That's Nancy Pelosi. Chuck Schumer's in that picture. They're millionaires, multi-million. How? I think a congressperson makes 146 grand a year. Our principal makes more than that. How are they multimillionaires? You're constantly told that you're a victim. This is the other scam they run on you that some of you buy. You see that picture? That's Tulsa. Remember the Tulsa burning down Black Wall Street they talked about a little bit ago? That's 20 years later. They rebuilt Tulsa. That's the part of the story you don't get. Certainly not in school. You know what ruined Black Wall Street in Tulsa? The welfare state. The Great Society by Lyndon Johnson destroyed it because it said, you know what, you're not going to work and invest and hustle. We're going to give you money. It's a devious plan and it worked. Last one, afraid. I was told when I was very small, those communists are going to come to get us. They did a false flag. The Gulf of Tonkin incident was fake. 58,000 American deaths, 3 million at least Vietnam dead for something that didn't happen. Global warming. Your man's Al Gore says the polar cap in the north going to melt by 2013. That didn't happen, but you believe it. Okay, here are the last two. You're supposed to be afraid of Islam. Okay, that was the September 11th thing. Remember I showed you this the other day? They found one of the hijackers' passports on the street who was in the plane. Can you explain that to me? That video, you go to 2 minutes, 11 seconds. That's a CBS News report. Because I know you guys don't like Fox because you just do as you're told. Hey, I don't like it either, but hey. And there's the report. You know what the latest one is? White people. You see that white person in the picture? You're supposed to be afraid of that guy because he's got this gigantic backpack. It's filled with privilege and he's a racist and he's coming to get you. That one works. They use the race card all the time, and let me tell you, it works. They've got a method to their madness. I don't think there's a method to your madness.